I'm confining them because I'm instead of uplifting mine, I'm uplifting the negativity of others, and so I need to stop that. So, those are a few things that I do need to work on. I feel like I'm just shuffling about here, but I am, I am picking up stuff, even though it's medium. What I'm doing. I'm trying to think of some other occurrences that may have happened over the past few days that I could share. Oh, the other thing, I didn't mention this about the meeting that I had yesterday. Um, One of the guys mentioned, and I did go back and look at the vlog. I don't think I mentioned it, but what he was saying was how, and I may have mentioned it, but I didn't listen. I think I did mention it, but pretty much how when they hire people, you hire people that you want to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? That you want to, get to know and whatever like that. And that's the truth, and that's straight up. Um, and so for a person that's different like me, it is pretty difficult, because I'm not, and I've been told I'm hard to get to know. I'm not, because I like myself, so I say to myself a lot. And you have to have something to me that I really like in order for me to kind of reach out to you or whatever like that. So the dilemma I'm having now is I have stuff that belongs in the bathroom. I have stuff that belongs in the kitchen. And so eventually I'm gonna have to take those stuff to their areas. So I need kind of like a temporary holding place until I get there. Um, I guess what I should try to do is like work from one side to the other. This side was doing pretty good. Um, Nothing's on this top shelf, so I'm gonna put this on the shelf until it's time for me to start putting taking things to where they belong. So we have kitchen and we have toiletries. And I think I want to organize my bag too. And I'm also hungry, so I could probably start bringing out my I look so funny. Bringing out my I have some pasta that I heat up in the morning to eat, so I'm gonna do that. Oops. Get the shoes out the way. All right, I'm back. And this is lazy. I'll keep it in the pan and I'll put it wrapped up in the fridge, and I just take it up and reheat it. Um, when I'm ready to go, which I am now. All right, so now where am I? Going through my bag, and I need to start charging my phone right now too. This goes in the kitchen. Gloves. All right, so where was that? Okay. All right. I was going through my bag. That's what I was doing. First, let me make sure this shelf is okay because it's not a mess and I don't want it to become a mess. I was taking everything that belongs in the bathroom and like put them here so I could pick up and go everything at once. The kitchen. This belongs there. That belongs there. Phone. I need to charge it so that when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. This is the bag that the shoes came in, by the way. And we'll listen to some spirit science while we're doing this.
Global warming doesn't put our planet into an ice age. We're going to kill ourselves from overpopulation for sure. And using the rate of doubling, we definitely don't have the resources to survive the way we are for maybe a little over 10 years. Yet, despite all of these things, we're about to learn something amazing. It's something that will transform the earth into something completely different, something incredible and beautiful. Many people across the globe have learned about this, and they've applied it to themselves and witnessed marvelous changes. Others have dedicated their lives to talking about it, to teaching it. I'm someone who's still exploring.
Alright. So now that I'm moving around, I'm getting hot, so this is going to have to be another type of video. So, whatever. Oh, but it's really cold. So, oh my gosh. It's really cold. Oh.
We have scientifically mapped the mind and the body. We understand next to every aspect about each of them. Yet, what do we really know about the spirit, the soul? What is it? Where does it come from? For centuries, religions have been the primary source for answers pertaining to the soul, but they're not concrete. Many different religions have a different answer and ideas about how things work on this level. Recently, however, a discovery was made, which led to new discoveries and further discoveries. These incredible insights went largely unnoticed by the global community, and while governments and secret services of the world acknowledged them, it wasn't something that really got to the masses. Today, this information is still slowly coming out, and I'm going to share it with you. In the world of science, what do we really know about thoughts? We know you can measure by looking at scanners. You can measure the frequency that are emitted when you think something. They're measurable, yet there isn't anywhere specific in the brain that holds them. Is it possible that you create your thoughts outside your mind? Maybe not. But is it possible that you create your thoughts into the external world? Your mind? This is what we're going to talk about today. Have you ever had a moment where you knew exactly what someone else was going to say, about 2 or 3 seconds before they even started talking? Do you have a shared connection between a loved one or a pet? And you can always tell exactly how the other is feeling, or what they're thinking of, even if they're not really around. Have you ever met someone that you really got bad vibes from, and your intuition turned out right? We've all had experiences like these, at least a few times, some many more than others. There are even a few people who can kind of tap into this experience quite easily. I believe one of the terms for it is psychic. Let's say for the sake of discussion that when you think of something, anything, it appears right in front of you. No, not physically, but let's say it appears in a different realm that's in and around all of us. We'll just assume for now that's not something that we're consciously aware of, and it's something that we're going to discuss later on. For now, let's just call it the thought realm. When you're doing something, you start by thinking about it. Whether you're building a pool in your backyard or making a sandwich, you have to have thought of it first. Even the subconscious thoughts, for things like walking and breathing. They shouldn't be anything new to us. We think of things before we do them, even if it's a split second before them. This is just how we function, and our physical actions match the thoughts that we've created. You might say that you move through your thoughts, turning non-physical ideas into physical actions. When an inventor gets an idea, this idea can quickly spread throughout all of his colleagues and friends. Ideas and thoughts are spreadable. Multiple people can hold on to the same idea at once, allowing them to grow and develop further. In this scenario, don't think of thoughts as separate, but as a whole that everyone is latching onto. Of course, because we can't physically see this realm of thoughts, we can't tell exactly what the original idea was, only the interpretation that they describe using functions like speech and body language, as well as our own intuition, which is how thoughts connect to each other. Because of this, we add a bit of our own creation to the mix, our own spice, while still working towards the same common goal. A social gathering is another good example of this at work, too. People gathering together because they share the same ideas, thoughts, and emotions.
My Jesus.
An example could be
Father.
a course of architecture.
Oh, fuck no! Oh, fuck. Fuck no, motherfucker! Oh, my God! Oh. That is so entirely gross,
You're still creating this experience for yourself. You manifested that iPad, house, or whatever into your experiences. So with thoughts connecting with other thoughts comes our first big realization. This new understanding of how intertwined we truly are, we are not only connected in the physical realm, but in a mental and spiritual way as well. Up until recently, humankind has always understood simply that they were connected only through their physical being. We assumed that the conscious experience, as well as all of the thinking, was totally 100% isolated from the rest of everyone else. The fact is, we're not. We are so connected with each other,
That
it's
sound
almost
bug. That's what
impossible
it
to
is.
believe.
I'm gonna lose my
Think about
mind.
almost every creature on Earth. What do we really know about the bond that connects them?
Oh
Geese
my
are able to
gosh.
travel long distances, switching who flies in front like clockwork. Many fish swim in large schools, and we know that they don't have a form of verbal communication. Our pets are able to communicate with each other without speaking. Yet, it's like they know what each other are feeling and connect in a very
Alright, I need to
personal
finish
way.
this. I don't have time for this.
Almost every observable
These
creature
shoes I do
has
not
a
need because
connection
I
that
do
makes
not
their
need
own
heels
species,
today.
if not of them.
That is the truth.
We as humans are the next step in life, but that doesn't mean we don't have this connection. What's to say we're not also connected to each other in this way? We've been out of touch with ourselves for an incredibly long time now, and we are growing increasingly disharmonic. Now, thoughts being created are just the tip of the iceberg. The real interesting part comes when you look at emotions. Emotions are much more powerful than thoughts. Emotions pull on you. They control your actions. They guide you throughout your life. It's not your thoughts that control where you sit in the classroom.
What you're seeing me go to
Like
down
that
here,
girl
it's
who
a
thinks that accidents. When
it's a
couple are
multi-cooker,
together, it's their
multi-purpose
emotions that
purpose
keep them
cooker.
tethered. Same
And
with when they're fighting, it's
when
their
I
emotions that break them
began
apart.
rearranging
You watch
stuff,
TV shows that
the
you
thing it was
enjoy.
sitting on, I had to
You
take it
know
off, so
friends
it's sitting
with
on the
them
floor.
that
That's what you're
emotional
seeing.
bonds with them. Now, this applies on a smaller scale too. Do you ever have a morning when you wake up and stub your toe and think, oh, this is going to be one of those days, and find that the entire day afterwards just goes terrible, and just everything? What about the days when you wake up excited and happy, ready to go? Your whole day is just excellent in all of the right ways. Even if something bad does happen, you're less affected by it because you're in such a good place emotionally. The reason these differences in how your day goes is because of your emotional
Don't
state.
need my brush
People
either
with different
because
clothes will go on exactly the same without you.
whatever.
At home, people interact differently with other people, and everyone would have a completely different
Clips.
experience if you were not there. Imagine the scenario. There's a bully in a playground who's looking for someone to beat on. There's kids playing sports, kids skipping rope, kids on the swings, and then off to the side there's one boy sitting in the grass watching the rest of everyone play. He doesn't feel like anyone else will want to play with him, so he sits apart from the group.
This is
The
important
bully
what they're
instantly
saying
knows
now.
where to go, and the circle of hurting begins. See, it's through the feeling of being vulnerable that you become vulnerable in the physical. If the boy had walked outside for recess and told himself, I can fit in, he would probably be playing sports right now. This applies to the bully as well. He didn't have anyone else to play with, probably because of some insecurity, mental, that led him to need to hurt others. He thinks he's doing good for himself by hurting the boy, except he's really just hurting himself long term. You can look into society and see a vast amount of evidence to support it too. The people who are most successful are those who talk most of success. Those who speak most of illness have it. Yes, illness is also a creation of yours. If you have a low immune system, it's because of you. Typically, we like to blame things on the virus going around in our own immune system, but the way that we become susceptible to them is from inside. Whether that there's some ongoing negative energy or some bad feeling that we allow into ourselves. We can heal ourselves also, but I'm going to save healing for another video. There's only one thing that becomes apparent from this understanding. You create your own reality. We are 100% responsible for the situations that we find ourselves in, the things that happen to us, good and bad. Throughout history, we've always played the blame game. It's his fault I didn't get the promotion. It's her fault I couldn't go to the game. It's everyone else's fault. I'm so depressed. Whatever it is, and this may be the hardest thing to truly get, it's your fault. Your happiness, your sadness, your fears and your fortunes, every single experience of your life on Earth was because of you. Remember, just as you are creating your own individual reality, we are all co-creating our realities as a collective. We are one species, and as a species, we are creating the realities that we are experiencing together. One common argument I hear is, what about starving kids in Africa? How are they creating their starving reality? I would respond to that the Western world is not really allowing for everyone on the planet to live in the same abundance that the Westerners are, is it? We're using up all of the world's resources, hardly sharing anything unless they're paying a lot for it, or if we're getting something out of it. And we ask why. We haven't been sharing with our brothers and sisters around the planet. But again, that's us as a collective creating the reality that we experience around the planet. This applies through all levels. As a family, you create your reality, and your actions will change what the family experiences. Because of this, and because we are not in tune with ourselves, it may often seem that sometimes we don't have complete control over what it is we experience. Sometimes we're seemingly forced into scenarios that seem out of our control. This happens as a result of our disharmony, and also lack of connection to our own intuition. When we become more in tune with ourselves, we can feel out certain scenarios and decide if that's a path we want to take. Maybe I won't go down into the dark alley. Maybe it feels right to not take that job. Beyond that, once you have the experience that you feel is out of your control, now it's your turn to decide what you do next. You can allow the experience to get the best of you and drain your energy and move into a dense, unhappy place emotionally. Or you can decide to take it for what it is, an experience, and keep moving forward. Every dark cloud has a silver lining, and if you're looking for that silver lining, you'll have a much easier time finding it. Many of us have heard of this thing called the law of attraction, which talks about something similar to this, but talks more about evidence and not much about this thought realm. Over the entire world, people have written in to tell of their amazing stories, where they really focused on having what they wanted, and got it through miracles and coincidences. This is but a small piece in the vast ocean of the internal world that I'll be talking about. It is, however, very real, and you can literally change everything in your life by willing it so. I know this from personal experience, and it's not hard to find others who have too. One continuous argument I hear from people who deny this law of attraction is, you don't just make things and change everything by sitting on your ass. To which I reply, exactly. You never stop moving. Just change your mindset and continue on with your life. Create your emotions in your mind.